Now, last time we were talking about grouping and so forth, and some of our aggregate functions. Um, this is to include or exclude group rows by using the having clause. It's kind of like you got your where that limits it by the individual records, and then the having, which limits it by the grouping, the aggregate function, perhaps. Here's an example. Select room style, room type, and then we convert the minimum square feet to a character, put in the correct format. From ship cabins, where ship ID is equal to 1, and then group it by room style. So you see the grouping is done here, and room type. So stateroom and standards one grouping, stateroom and large another grouping, suite and standards another, suite and royal is the last one. Well, after you do the having. And then having room type in standard large, or the minimum square feet is greater than 1200. So you see here, standard and large would include the standard, large, standard, those three, but it would not include this last one. But this last one, since it's greater than 1200, is included. So again, you can do that. Now I'm going to try it over here. I don't know how this will work. Let me select product ID, and then the minimum quantity. Okay, so I'm doing that part there. Then you do your from. Order details. Your where, if you have it. I'm not going to use where. Then you group by. And so that returns that. 77 records. The order details is 518. So it's obviously doing our our minimum for each product. But in addition to that, I get 77 records. Maybe I'm only interested in ones where the quantity is greater than 25. That's where the having comes in. Let's see if it works on this one. Having minimum quantity is greater than 25. And it returns just those four. So it's like takes the results of the query and applies another selection based upon what you're actually seeing. Let's come over here. And where am I in? Select star from my sales. Okay, so we're going to print region. And I think it's sum of the total. From my sales. I don't need a where. I will put the having here in a minute. I didn't do a group by. Let's see, selecting from my sales, group by region. Okay. So, Here's where I can narrow down further. Having my sum total. Wonder how I put not null. Is that null? But it is null. Okay, so having sum total is, trying to remember the mixing up the different languages. Having, let's try that. Bound to get it right one of these times. Not. There it is. I don't think I've seen any language, SQL or regular programming or anything, where the exclamation is not either or the negation is either not an exclamation or a not in some form. But again, that would limit it down to only pulling pulling the items that are not null. So you can put any kind of selection criteria there. And that's it for that chapter. Now I'm not going through these self tests here, but those are actually pretty good items to look through. Okay, chapter 8, displaying data from multiple tables. Grab a drink here. Talked about this a little bit. So if I do select star from orders, this has an order ID, which would tie with something with order details. This order detail has an order ID. Order detail also has a product ID, which would tie us to products by the product ID, which has a supplier ID, which would tie us to suppliers, which probably doesn't go anywhere then. I don't see anything else. Looks like code. Typical way that you design tables is not by linking supplier name, like exotic liquid, not linking it by that, but linking it by some kind of unique number. Reason why, you could have 2 exotic liquids. You could have 3 Grandma Kelly's Homestead. So that's what this is about. Is figuring out how to link those together in different manners. It's called a join. Several types of joins in SQL. Most commonly used is the equijoin. Less common is a non-equijoin. Okay, so down here we got our inner joins versus outer joins. And inner joins connect rows in 2 or more tables if and only if there are matched rows in all the tables being joined. And I think that's the way it goes by default. Outer joins connect rows in 2 or more tables in a way that is more inclusive. If data exists in one table that has no matching value in the other, the unmatched row will still be included in the output. So if I wanted to tie together order details with orders, from orders, order details. It's probably take forever. Returns 101,520 records. Orders is 196. Order details is 518. Since I did not put any kind of join information in there, it took each one of the orders and linked it with each one of the order details in the entire table. So it's 196 times 518, which I guess gives you 101,528. That's kind of amazing how fast it came back and how, because not only just the database engine doing it, but the fact that my browser would have 101,000 records on it. I wonder how many pages that would be if I printed it. Assuming there was a print. Assuming it tells me. But I digress. It's not going to go back anytime soon anyway. What we need to do is put some kind of join information on there. Assuming my computer isn't just locked up. That's nice. Okay, that's back. So I'm going to put a where orders.order ID is equal to order details dot order ID. And now I get 518 records. For each order, it goes out and finds all the order detail to go with it. So then my number of orders is 196, and this is 518. So which is not out of the realm of possibilities. 100,000, you pretty well would know you did something wrong. Okay. Notice I put a qualifier on here for our orders. That's because order ID is in both tables, so it give me a message of some sort. Order detail ID is only in order details, so I don't need to put a qualifier in front of it. Let's see if I can remember qualifiers. Ord. Maybe I'll put it in front. Maybe I don't have to remember how to put a qualifier on it. Unless it has to be in quotes. Okay, one last one, and then I give up. Nope. Okay. Yeah. It's pulling from orders and going to order details, but you can't have one order going or you can't have two orders going to the same order detail. Right. Now, if your data wasn't in sync, like if I looked at this and I said delete from order details, where order ID equals 10248, assuming this is a number. Okay, so I deleted 3. Oh, yeah, because it won't print orders unless it has a corresponding record. So it still has 515. This is the difference between the inner join and outer join. Well, let's go. Yeah, and if I remember right, I did this in the other class. I don't think this allows us to do the plus here. No, but we'll see that over in Oracle. What did I do in Oracle? My region. That's what it was. Okay, so if I come here and I want to maybe loop, maybe I want to count. Select count from my sales. 44 records. Okay, and I want to loop from, let's see, my region, region description, comma, and item, comma, units, unit total, sorry, total. From my region, comma, my sales. Now again, if I did leave this the way it is, there's 44 records in here, I think. In the region, I think there was 2 or 3. But it'll take 44 times 2 or 44 times 3, and that'll be how many records I'd come back with. Came back with 88 records. So it took 44 times 2. So it must be 2 records in Region Master. That's because I did not put any connection information on there. But we're my region dot region is equal to my sales dot region. Now it's going to be a lot less. I don't know how many, because this is doing an inner join, which means if I only got 2 records here, it's only going to find the records over here that have those 2 regions. And it came back 19 total. So I had the West region and I had the East region. Now I am curious if I'm just remembering it wrong. Yeah. So you do put it after, but no quotes. I'm not a big fan of that, but this is where you can put a title on there. I guess that was already region. See how it puts REG and D on there, but even more than that, if you have those specified, then you can or do I specify them here? Let me see. M. Not there. No, it's just up above then. But then that allows you to download it and have something a little bit more meaningful, especially in those ones where we had really complicated formulas. By putting that on there, you can give it some kind of user-friendly name. Okay. Now the outer joins. I said that this is, let's see. Get rid of all that extra junk. What else do I have selected for my region where my region is equals to? Okay, so we came back with 19 records, but we know there's 44 in the table I'm linking into. If I put a plus here, we'll try to take a look, put a plus in the other place too, but it comes back with 44 now. These, since there is no record on this side, are null. Now on that side, it returns 19 again, because on this side, I don't have any that don't have east and west. But if I went in, and put that record in there. Now if I run it, see how it's got null on this side. So depending upon which side you put it in, the records that don't have a corresponding match, it puts a null over there for it. Since I didn't have any records in my sales for the region Davidville, it put null over here. On the other hand, I know when I put the plus on this other side, it put null here in the region and region description to indicate those were missing. I don't know if you can put plus on both sides. I don't think I ever have tried that. I'm not even sure what that'd tell you, to be honest. I guess you can't put it on both sides. But that's the outer join that's referring to. And we'll see more about that. Echo joins versus non-echo joins. Echo joins connect data in two or more tables by looking for common data among table columns. In other words, an echo join looks for an exact match of data. Non-echo joins connect data by looking for relationships that don't involve equality, such as less than or greater than relationships or situations where data in one table is within a range of values in another. Okay. It's not gonna make any sense, but that's okay. If it even works. Okay, so I put a greater than there. And as I scroll down, you see there's a total of 86 records. What in the world's it doing? Let me think. That's greater than that. don't know what I was doing. Let's see. I'm thinking in return where this is greater than anything else, which I'm not sure what's less than that or equal. Central. David, D is greater than C. East, E is greater than C. West, greater than C, and so forth. That's what they mean about the non-equal join. I'm not sure if I really ever use that very much. Equijoin is or equijoin, however you said. This is the most common one. Okay. Talk about inner joins. That's where if you're you gotta have matching records in both tables, otherwise it doesn't display them. Here we go. Ship ID 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's linking by port ID. Okay, never mind. You notice that there's no 4 over here, which is Miami. It has Baltimore, Tampa, and Charleston. Baltimore 1, Tampa and Charleston 2 and 3. And 1, 2, and 3 is what I have over here. Now, since we're going from, what are we going from? Ship ID, ship name, port name, from ships, inner, join, ports. Okay, home, port ID equals port ID. So we're going from the ships table over to the ports table. So we're linking that way. Now, if you link the other way, depending on what kind of join you do, since there's 4 records here, those would print and then they'd be linked into here by port ID, and 1 would be a 1-to-1. 2 would go to 2 records though, so that's a 1-to-many. So there are many ships in a port, but for each ship, it only is in a 1 port at a time. So again, depending on which direction you go, one way is 1-to-many, the other way is 1-to-1. Now, obviously, it's easy to look at here because we only got 4 records here, 6 records here. If you got a record of 5 million, there's no way you're going to look at your data and understand it. So you need to have some kind of explanation of what the database entails. Sometimes they publish that, sometimes they don't. Let's see, Genzabar, data, definition, database. Not quite what I was looking for, but see how they got things defined here. This is the section master here, and EMS. What EMS stands for? Don't know. But here I got sys ID, sys subject ID, campus code, so forth. Now this is courses. Subject ID. Well, if courses was like CIS 1705. Um, this would be like where you have your term ID. I shouldn't have to think about this, but since we use Genzabar. I don't know what it is, but 20, 2001, something like that, let's say, for the year, and then fall would be the first of them, because it says year code plus the term code. Our subject ID equals to CIS. Campus code, don't know. Department code, level code, CRN. Course section. Department code. Department code. Natural gas. Natural gas. Natural science. NS maybe? I don't know. I don't even know what my department code is. Now all of these link to somewhere else, and you have to think, if they don't give it to you, what is the relationship? Well, for a particular course and its section, probably only has one subject ID. It can only be a computer science course or a math course or a history course. So that's a one-to-one. Department code, natural science. There's only one department that a class can fall into. So that's a one-to-one link. And as I go through here, courses, subjects, courses. That's interesting. I would have assumed a department master, but nothing. Anyway, you get the idea. You have to understand a little bit about your data in order to how to view it correctly. Sometimes they'll give you like a layout. This is kind of what I was looking for, though it's not going to show it to me. In order to do updating from a programming standpoint, from a reporting standpoint, you have to understand these relationships here. Like here we got publishers, I go into publisher info. I guess that's a one-to-one link. A publisher has many employees. That'd be a one-to-many link. Publisher has many titles because they're working a lot of different ones. Now this is linking off. Oh, that's one-to-many. That one says a one-to-one, which we said. This one, I don't know. You see how it says primary key pub underscore ID? That's kind of a unique one that you can go off of. And publisher ID then links over here to publisher ID here. So you try to be consistent on that. If the primary key over here is employee ID, then probably I don't see an employee master. So maybe it's actually stored in there, everything. Okay, so then this from titles links to sales because you got um, store ID, order number, so multiple sales for each title. For each sales, for each quantity, pay terms, title ID. Well, definitely, since it's got store ID, you can link to store master, stores, and from there, each store, I guess, has a discount, so it links to that. Hmm. Okay. And you say you got ships here and ports, and then they do put an inner join between them. And then it tells it what it's linking off of. Home port ID is equal to port ID. Port ID is off of your ship um, port ID. Okay, that's off this one. And then it's linking home port ID. So question becomes is over here. So on my from, I'm gonna put my inner join, see if that works. I think it's just an oracle. No, I was wrong. Okay, so link set. Um, looks like inner. There. Okay. Um, let's give you some more examples. Older inner join syntax. That makes me feel old. Before we move on to outer joins, an old variation on inner join syntax. Um, that's what I've been showing. And I like that, to be honest, because that's what I was using. Been teaching 16 years, so I was using 26 years ago, and I like that format. But it shows you a newer one in this book too. Okay. Notice here you can have a mixture. You can have your connection part between your tables, and you can specify like port name. Now this is assuming, since we're going from ships to ports, this is assuming that that record is found. Um, so if you have that connection there and it's not linking correctly, because of missing records or whatever, it may give you unexpected results. Using table aliases. Okay, what do we got here? Employee ID equals employee ID. It gets confused on this because it doesn't know which one's from which. Some databases may assume that if your first one here from the from is employees, this is employees.employee ID. And if address is the second, then the second employee ID here is addresses.employee ID. But to qualify it, you can put your table name in front. So employees.employee ID equals addresses.employee ID. And I've been showing that. Also, so you can put the EM after an AD here. Thought I tried that. unless it breaks these. I would assume you could have done both, but maybe not. No? What am I doing wrong? Okay, put the code afterwards. Shouldn't, but let's see. Now, you're correct. Some databases do require a semicolon there. Semicolon is how you actually run it in some versions of SQL. Um, like you'll have a semicolon here, and then you can have another statement right after it. Yeah, yeah, that's it. I keep wanting to do that here instead of having to um, keep going back and forth between queries. Oops, that doesn't appear to follow their example, unless I have to have it everywhere, like up here too, which is a possibility. Let's see, MR, MS, MR, MS, MR, MS. You have to have it everywhere. Can't mix and match. But if you have a real long table, you can shorten it by giving some kind of nickname to it. Now here you can have all your selects, and then you do from table name, natural join space table name. So select region, select by region, region description, total from my region, natural join, and my sales. I think those came from my sales. To join the airport. I did. What else have I missed? Oh, can I have a qualifier? Column using natural join. Can I have a qualifier? Well, that's gonna. I guess as it assumes region is going to be the same with a natural join. I guess that makes sense. The whole idea is that it's supposed to be the same. So if you have region here and you got another field over here called region, and they contain different information, you would not want to do a natural join. But anyway, this intelligently connects the tables together. Now that was 19 records. What I spelled wrong. My region. Now going the other way. So my sales, natural join, my region, it gave me the same result. I was curious. Now you notice there's other options here besides natural join. Natural left outer join, natural right outer join, natural full outer join. Natural full outer join. Natural full outer. These ones here, Kansas and Davidville, I guess, they didn't have a corresponding record over in the my sales table, I guess. So then it put the nulls here on the same lines. These records over in the other table did not have a corresponding description. Like Central is not in my region table, so Central's not there. I think that's where I tried to do a plus plus on both of them and it didn't work. Appears like you can do a natural full outer join and it'll connect them together. Again, I don't like these. I'm kind of showing a little bit of it, but I don't recommend them. Maybe it's just an old way of thinking. But I keep thinking, well, what happens if something changes? You rename a column or you create a new column that has the same name as one over here. Like this is total here. Question becomes, what if I go to my region and I add a column called total? Let's see. Okay. And yeah, I remember this giving me headaches the other day. How can you not? That's insane. Oh, total, I bet is a key word. Well, the other one's total. Tot. There it took. Oh, that's okay. Put 3 here, 4, 6, 5, 2. Okay, and commit it, and then so now I got a column called total here. I also got a column called total over here in my sales. Question is if it's smart enough to only go off of course, I didn't specify any primary keys. And it was smart enough. How in the world is it smart enough? Total is number 3815. Okay. So I'm gonna put 15 in there. No. That's interesting. Let's see. I thought there was more columns here, but I'm obviously wrong. There it is. That's what I was looking for, my precision. Yeah. Column must be empty. Decrease. Okay, I failed. Um, there we go. Commit that. That's better. 3815. Okay, so now it should be exactly the same. Okay, well, it's smart enough to know that. So, um, I just don't feel real comfortable if I'm not precisely in control. I don't like it deciding what to join them by. But that's what that is. Okay. This talks about doing a join, left join or whatever, and then based upon what. Now this would make me feel a little bit better because it's specifying specifically what to join it by. So you tell them to column. Okay, so that's what is that? Left join. And then what? Inside of parentheses, using region. Of course, now my column is ambiguously defined. Column ambiguously defined. Line 1, column 36. Oh, that's right. I did add total in both places, didn't I? Sales. Column part of using clause cannot have a qualifier. Using. Employees, left join addresses, using. So employees joining addresses, it's using employee ID. And I'm using region. Left join, going from my sales to that. That's what it's wanting. It says I have to have qualifier here, but since I'm saying that it's going to connect together with these, then that's another error. Okay. Error report, unknown command. Select region. My eyes are getting worse. I don't know what I clicked. Okay, I guess that makes sense. The why it won't let me qualified, I don't know, but because here we're saying they have to be the same. So why am I putting a qualifier on this? But I do need to be a qualifier in here. Now, if I put a total in here, it should give us an error because of this qualifier, assuming it follows that. Okay, and that's saying that totals have to be the same too. Now notice what is coming up here. Got a bunch of nulls because there's not a corresponding record here. Well, it's 3 o'clock. I didn't really get into enough to sign anything. I think I'll just have you old school, like I did. Create 5 queries that link 2 tables together. So create 5 queries, each one linking 2 tables together. So nothing too exciting. You should be able to do it fairly fast. That'll give you a little bit of practice.
Don't do the inner join. Don't do the natural join. Do any of those last ones we looked at. Those are more. Um, we haven't explored those further yet. Just have these where you have one column is equal to another column, just like what you see right here. But don't do the ones I did in class. Questions? Anything?